big up and then I was the most polite I've ever been. Like, no, please, after you. Give it up! Make a noise, come on! Make a noise! None of us are doing this because we need less love, all right? All the love you can, I will give it to you and I will take it from you. Do you understand? Good! That's all we ask! Just 10% of love! Save the rest for your mothers and partners! But spunk summon us! Hi, my name's Joe Taylor Mills. I'm what happens if you feed a depressed gremlin after midnight. That's what this is. Yeah, I'm rocking the big two. Give me a cheer if you're rocking some mental health issues. Yeah. Some of you are liars, because I've been sat in the back all night and like, not all of you who are rocking mental health issues cheered. But no, it's weird if somebody says, oh, you're rocking mental health issues, you're programmed to go, no, I'm fine. But you are! Anyway, yeah, I've got the big two. I've got anxiety and depression.
Yeah!
Oh, it's marvellous. I remember, I hate it. I remember when my GP told me I'd got anxiety and depression. She said that is a killer combination. And I said, thanks very much. Because I needed the validation. I needed the validation. I almost called her mummy. I needed it. I remember when she told me that, yeah. And like, it's horrible. Like, if for those of you normies who don't worry, it's fine. This is just my trauma. You drop it. It's fine. Yeah, for those of you normies who aren't rocking mental health issues, I'm very pleased for you. We all are. How are you fine? Are you not paying attention? Anyway, it's fine. It's okay. It's mostly genetic. But yeah, it's the worst. It's like being trapped in a room with Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. Right? They're both awful. They're both liars. But you grew up with one of them, so you give them a little bit more leeway, didn't you? Didn't just turn up around the same time as Aquaman. It's horrible. You spend all day with them as well. You wake up with them, and they're there with you all day. You wake up and you walk around with them, and you know. There's Amber Alert, just kind of, oh, you know, you should watch out for that bus. What bus? That bus is miles away. Yeah, you could die. You should die. It's just one step. Wait, hang on. There's Johnny. Mr. Depression. I'm walking along, having a lovely time. Birds are singing, children are playing, but you'll never have them, will you, Joe? Why is that, Johnny? Generational trauma, Joe. It's got to stop somewhere, hasn't it? It's got to stop somewhere. Might as well be with you. There's a bus over there. Step in front of it, cunt. That was an artistic impression of what happens on Sertraline. Yeah, and because the thing is, you do all of that and then you kind of get through a day of all of that, and then you finally get lovely and into your lovely snuggly bed where you're going to have a lovely snuggly sleep, and you start getting to sleep and you're having a lovely time, and you're having a lovely time, and you're almost asleep. And do you remember that time when during foreplay you looked at a woman and you said, "Oopsie daisy"? You'll never forget when you said, "Oopsie daisy, I'll never let you," and she won't. So I'm in therapy. It's great. I genuinely love it. I recommend it to everybody. My therapist is weird. My therapist has the world's worst poker face. And I know this because we were 2 sessions into my therapy sessions. We were 2 sessions in, and my therapist said to me, 2 sessions in, she said, "That's the saddest thing I've ever heard." Sorry, a trained professional said to me, "That's the saddest thing I've ever heard." She's not a young therapist. She's been doing it for a while. And she said, I don't think some of you cunts heard me, she said, "That's the saddest thing I've ever heard." I mean, it got quite good to me, actually. I was like, "Oh, you like that?" That's just the tip of a very large and painful iceberg, actually. And this is why I don't think she's got a good poker face, because I don't think they're allowed to say ka-ching And she did, and it's how she opens all her Zoom calls. But, oh no, that was enough for you. You will no, it's fine, no, don't worry, you come back. Just like Father said he would. He didn't, he was just dead. It's only funny because it was a suicide. Anyway, no, it's not. We're sharing, it's a yurt. That's what they're for. I'm amazed half of you aren't stoned out your fucking minds. They said, do a yurt in Cardiff, they said. Do stand up, they said. You won't be able to stand up straight, they said. Not for most of the gig. I'm 6'3", I've been crouched at the back like a fucking leper. Anyway, it's lovely. It's lovely to be out. I love gigging in Wales. I love gigging in Wales because, like, you very slowly cross the Severn Bridge, don't you? At the minute at 20 miles an hour. Because as soon as Plaid Cymru got in, they were like, "Keep the bastards out. We're going to close the tunnel and fuck the bridge. Like, keep them out as long as you can." And then you get across the bridge, and you have a beautiful motorway at which you are allowed to drive at 40 miles an hour. Yeah, we have motorways in England as well. Sometimes you can go for 70 for miles at a time without anybody changing it. You people are all young. That's very Jeremy Clarkson humour. And you're all looking at me like, all right, Clarkson's farm. Like, it's fine. Like, but honestly, driving here was a fucking nightmare. But I love doing it because I love coming and gigging in yurts. It's amazing. Nothing beats gigging in a yurt to a largely impassive audience. Honestly, it's why we do it. All we want is a little bit of your spunk, Scott. All we want. Your last spunk, not your actual semen. Or lady semen. I'm not a biologist. I don't know what it is. I love being in therapy because I don't want to become one of those people in therapy, you know. Because like if you've got friends or family in therapy, then you know the people, right? The people who go and they start evangelizing about it. I don't want to become one of those people because suddenly all you hear from those people is, "Oh no, oh you must go. Oh no, no, honestly, you must. No, it's changed my life. No, you must go. No, honestly, you must. It's changed my life. No, honestly, you must go. No, honestly, you must. It's changed my life. You're back, so let's do this. You must go. No, honestly, you must. This is about therapy. You must go. No, honestly, it's changed my life. You really must go. No, honestly, you must go. It's changed my life. You must go. It's changed my. That's because we get a little loyalty card. Every person I get signed up, little stamp. I'm 2 nutters away from a free diagnosis. That's why I ask at the start if any are in. Yeah, at the end, I'll sign up to a therapist. Not my therapist, obviously, she's terrible. I'm still doing this. She's not doing a good job! And she won't bring Daddy back. No, it's fine. Nothing can. He's dead. I've explained that. It does explain a lot about the energy, though, doesn't it? It's just like, oh yeah, no, that's somebody who spent their formative years without a father. And I get it, because it's important to, because I think people do look at me and kind of go, okay, what have you got to be depressed about, fat white boy? Like, you sound quite middle class. It's like, I know what I sound like. I know that I know what I look like, right? I know I look like I come from a long line of people who own land. And only just found out that spreading the gene pool doesn't mean fucking a second cousin. But that's not because I'm posh, that's because I'm from Devon. That's just what that is, that's how I look. And the thing is, like, I come from a really rough part of Devon as well. I was born on the roughest council estate in Plymouth. Right, okay, some of you don't understand how rough that is. Okay, to give you an idea of how rough that is, I was 6 years old. 6 years old, little 6-year-old Joe, when I saw the sex worker who lived across the street from us stab a man who was dressed as Santa Claus in the throat on Christmas Eve. Yeah, I don't sound so posh now, do I, actually? Doesn't seem quite so rosy. I was traumatised. Of course I was. I was fucking 6. Of course I was traumatised. My parents had a lovely time. My parents had a wonderful time because when I woke up all fresh-faced on Christmas morning, bounding downstairs with nothing but joy and love in my heart to find no presents under the tree, they were able to say that it was because Santa was in intensive care. But like, so it was rough, and like I love therapy because it connects those bits of your past, right? Like, and that past is important because, like, as I grew up, this might surprise you to learn, Cardiff, but I was bullied quite a lot. Okay, not as surprising as I thought you might find. Now, that's actually very hurtful, actually. A lot of you looking at me go, I bully you. I've known you for 10.5 minutes, and I bully you now. Also, I did that in a Welsh accent. I can't help but notice nobody in this yurt has a Welsh accent. Not a single fucking one of you. You all came here for uni and stayed. But nobody cares. Enjoy it while you can. That's all I can say. They're coming for you. It doesn't matter. We like the body snatchers. We get everywhere. Why would I reference the 1970s? Anyway, fuck. What was I talking about? Being bullied. That's why. Because suddenly I'll start talking about 1970s science fiction, and kids at school do not like it. But like, to give you an idea of how badly bullied I was picked on by the Harry Potter kids. Like, do you have any idea how bullyable you have to be picked on by Harry Potter kids? Cardiff! Well, wait, some of you haven't been bullied, and it shows. Like, I was bullied by Harry Potter kids. There are asthmatic kids running around going, I wouldn't want to be fat boy. Like, and I get why they didn't like me, right? I do understand it. They hated me because I didn't like the books, right? And I tried to, like, I am 39 years old, or as my wife describes it, at best halfway. I'm 39 years old, right? And like, I grew up in the 90s when we didn't have culture. We had Oasis and Damien Hirst, and that's not the same thing. We had Tracy Emin, that's not culture. But like, suddenly these books appear in all these kids' hands, and they're all running around with sticks, telling people what house they're in. I didn't even have my own stick. I had to share with the dog. Do you know what that's like? Like the Harry Potter kids going, oh, you don't even have your own stick. I bet you don't even know what house you're in. Like, my house sometimes. But like, they didn't like me because I didn't like the books. And like, and I get that from the kids' perspective, you know. And I've tried reading them again as an adult, and they still suck. And because the thing is, I was a kid who was just, you have to bear in mind, right? I grew up with the books of Roald Dahl and Enid Blyton. You know, proper bigots. And so J.K. Rowling's watered down shit was just never going to cut it. It's like, I don't need subtext, Joanne, just tell me they're foreign. That's all And then you think, oh, they'll grow out of it though. It's a phase, they'll grow out of it. 39. Guess who hasn't grown out of being a Harry Potter fan? People of my generation. There are Airbnbs that are themed around Harry Potter, which I can only assume is a cupboard under the stairs daubed with transphobic graffiti. Wi-Fi password is #only 2 genders. I don't. Like, it's awful. I got invited to a Harry Potter themed wedding within the last 2 years. That's not okay. Give me a cheer if you're in a relationship. Oh my God. I don't think those relationships are going to survive the night, you guys. All we need is 10%, guys. Just 10%, that's all I'm asking. Right? Like, you might think your relationship could survive a Harry Potter themed wedding. It can't. And I know that because I heard during the wedding from the top table, I told you they wouldn't wear the cloaks. It's not okay for people of my generation. Like, we just never grew up. And no wonder we've all got mental health problems. And so like, I desperately try. Hang on. There we go, that's back, isn't it? For a second I was like, I'm not reverberating with the timber that I was a minute ago. I think I fucked the mic. But no, it's back. We're good. I was like, I'm just gonna have to bellow the last 5 minutes and none of us would have enjoyed that. What was I saying? Yes, good. So you grow up and you're like, oh, okay, no, I actually have to get some proper help. I have to actually get some proper therapy. And I don't say this from the perspective of like being all sort of like, I'm a guy who understands that actually I need therapy too. But I do get, because men, we're generally terrible at talking about our feelings, right? And all you need to do to sort of understand that is to look at a group of female friends and to look at a group of male friends. I'm not generally one of those comedians who go, men and women are just different. Isn't that funny? I'll leave that to Michael McIntyre. Thank you. You take your millions, I will have my integrity. But there is something different about male and female friendships. And because the closest group of female friends you will find, people who are through it every single stage of their lives with each other. They love each other, they're there with compassion, they're there with joy, they're there with comfort, and whether it's a great thing, whether it's a terrible thing, that group of friends are there. And of course there's the one they bitch about in the WhatsApp group. Of course there is, the one that she's not in. We all know, that's fine. But that is a strong female friendship group, and it's beautiful. The strongest group of male friends you will find is 5 men stood around a pub, coming up with ever more elaborate ways to call each other fat paedophiles. That's basically being in the Marines with each other. That's the strongest bond of male friendship you will find. And again, I don't say this from some heightened position. I'm the same. My very best friend, I've known and loved him for 20 years. But he's like a brother to me. I adore him. I think he's wonderful. And we can spend hours talking to each other, whether it's in person, whether it's on the phone, whether it's on Skype, whatever. We talk to each other for hours and hours and hours. And at the end of that, my wife will say, how's Tom? And I'll say, I don't know. It didn't come up. His D&D character's not doing very well. But honestly, Tom can go fuck himself. Don't care. Because we talk about our very best friends in the world in the same way that people on the news describe serial killers. I didn't know him real good, but I knew he was done into woodwork. I thought that's what all the swords were for. I didn't realize they was people's souls. That's how we describe our best friends, and it's mad. So eventually you start thinking, okay, well I have to get healthy. And God knows I'm not physically healthy, so I have to work mentally healthy. My body is rotting, beneath me. It's horrible. All of you, give me a cheer if you're over 30. Fucking hell. Give me a cheer if you're under 30. Listen to the life in them. Oh God, it's disgusting. Listen to the life force. Oh, I could drink you like a vampire. God, it's horrible. But you'll come to this, it'll happen. Because you're still in the cool, sexy young people mystery injuries phase, right? Where you're walking around and you come back after a night out and your entire left leg is just one big bruise. You're covered in grass stains. 90% of your body is carpet burn. And you're like, oh my God, I'm so random. Joffrey! Joffrey, I lost my phone, Joffrey! So bloody random! I know how you young people talk, I've seen it on telly. But then you get to a certain age, I happen to be in my mid-30s, about 35 something changed, and those cool sexy young people mystery injuries go, and you start to get old people mystery injuries. And old people mystery injuries, they are sad, they are depressing, they are grotesque. I was sent home from work last year because I pulled a muscle in my rib trying to hold in a sneeze. Death's coming for us all. I had to go home to the woman I love, who already married this, so she's taken a risk. I had to go home to the woman I love, and explained that Daddy's brave little soldier. Oh, shut up! I had to explain that Daddy's brave little soldier got sent home from work because he almost sneezed himself inside fucking out. At the start of this year, I did myself a debilitating injury for days on end. I couldn't turn my head any further than that to the right. That was it, to the right, that was it. To the left, oh, it was lovely to the left. Better than Beyonce to the left. Oh, that's for the under 30s, that's all right. Oh, it was lovely to the left. To the right, that's your lot. That's as much as you're getting. Do you want to know what I did to do? Do you want to know what I did to do that injury to myself? Like, you're looking at me thinking it's probably some sort of sporting or sexual injury, you're absolute legend. No! But I've just about got enough time to tell you what happened. So I'll start at the beginning, I'll tell you the whole story. I woke up, and that is the end of the story! I've reached an age where I can do myself a debilitating injury for days on end because I opened my eyes at the wrong angle. I've reached an age where every time I feel a tingling sensation anywhere in my body, I have to work out if it's pins and needles or if, more likely, it's the start of the cardiac event that will inevitably kill me. And the worst part about that is by the time I get to this section, I've worked myself up into quite a frenzy. And I have to look out at a room full of people going, is this going to be the one where the fat fuck dies? Is this going to be the one where somebody has to resuscitate that fat fuck? But we made it, Cardiff. It's not tonight. Thank you very much indeed. My name's Joe Taylor.